Hey, what is up, guys? Eric Thane here from Cinema Mastery, and today we're going to be talking about how to become a professional videographer or how to get clients for commercial videography. Now, this video is for filmmakers who want to become professionals and get their very first clients, or if you're somebody who already has clients, this is for you to learn how to get more clients or how to charge more for your work. I've been working as a commercial filmmaker for about 7 or 8 years, and I've also worked with a lot of filmmakers over the last 5 years since I started Cinema Mastery. I've seen what works and what doesn't. I've seen tons of different strategies, and I've also seen why some filmmakers just do really well right out the gate and why other filmmakers maybe it takes a little bit longer. So we're going to kind of explore that today. And I'm going to walk you through my top 3 tips for growing your business as a filmmaker and becoming a professional videographer. So tip number 1 is to make cinematic work. Now, when I say cinematic, I don't mean that word like you hear everybody else using it. It's kind of become a buzzword in our industry where everybody talks about everything being cinematic. Basically, if something looks good, it's cinematic, right? When I talk about the word cinematic, I mean the actual meaning of cinematic, and the definition of cinematic is having characteristics or qualities of movies, of cinema. It means that it looks like a movie. So movies have this kind of characteristic, this kind of quality that other videos don't have, and it's what makes them stand out above other videography. Now, when I was starting out into filmmaking, I was shooting a lot of what I would call standard videography. I was shooting, music videos, wedding videos, real estate videos, just anything I could get my hands on to get started as a filmmaker. And that's totally fine when you're starting out, but eventually at some point you want to really learn how to separate yourself from the crowd. And the best way that I've found to do that is to create work that looks truly cinematic by borrowing concepts and characteristics from the movies and applying them to, yes, even your commercial work or real estate work or wedding videos, even if that's what you're shooting. So here's how you do it. Create passion projects. So when you do client work or you're working with a client that's involved in the process of your work, there's always going to be compromises. You always have to, do little things here and there that you maybe wouldn't have done as a creator, as an artist, because there's a client paying for it or there's a client kind of having control over the project or telling you what to do. And so when you do a passion project, which is a fully self-funded project where there's no client, you're doing it all on your own in order to put something into your portfolio, well, then you don't have somebody else telling you what to do and you get full creative control over it as an artist. So this is the type of work that you want to be putting in your portfolio in order to attract the right type of clients to yourself. Now, once you've done a passion project, you should put it in your portfolio and start building out your portfolio with those passion projects. So what a lot of filmmakers do is they take their portfolio and they make it just a collection of their past work. The problem with this is that your portfolio is one of the best tools you have at your disposal as a filmmaker to market your work, because anybody that considers hiring you is going to watch that portfolio, is going to look at your work or your reel and use that to determine whether you are the right person for the job. So let's say you are a filmmaker that's trying to get commercial work into your business, but your portfolio is entirely wedding videos. You're going to have a hard time making that sell to the commercial clients because all they're seeing is wedding videos and they're going to assume that that's all that you can do. When you do this, it makes it so that you end up having to explain to your clients how, yes, my work looks like this, but I can actually do this. And you start creating disclaimers, and that really kills their confidence in you because it doesn't sound like you're very confident in yourself. So the best thing you can do is use your passion projects to build a portfolio that is designed to attract the type of client that you want to get down the road, rather than just showing off the past work that you've done for other clients before. So take the passion project that you've done and create a pitch video explaining why you decided to tell that story, why you decided to create that video for that brand, and then send that to the brand and have them take a look at it. This is one of the best ways to get noticed by big brands. It's not always going to be the case that they will end up hiring you, but it's good to start building a relationship and just getting to know them. Learn how to sell. Now, when I was first starting out in my video production company, I didn't understand the concept of salesmanship. When I thought about sales, I always thought about being a slimy salesman. I didn't want to be like that or be the type of person that's like going door to door, knocking on people's doors, annoying them. I've had people do that to me. I don't like it. I don't want to do that to other people. But at one point, I learned that sales doesn't have to be like that. In fact, really good sales isn't like that at all. So one time I was presenting at a local networking meeting for my business and just telling people a little bit about what I do and why I do it with my video production company. And at the time, I thought that that was the only way to get clients, was just to go to networking events and present about my business or try to meet people and talk to them. Well, after I finished giving the presentation about my business, I had somebody come up to me and say, you know what you really need is you need to learn how to sell. And I was thinking to myself at the time, sell? Why do I need to learn how to sell? I thought that, all I needed to do was learn how to make really good videos. And if I made them better and better and better, then people would start to notice and then I would start to get work from that. At least that's how I thought it worked. But then I realized after a while that it's not. See, knowing how to make really good videos and knowing how to sell those videos and get people to pay you for them are two entirely separate skills. And I realized over time that while I was pretty good at making the videos, I didn't actually know how to sell them and get people to pay me for them. So I spent a lot of time studying books and reading and developing my skill in sales and understanding how to communicate to a client on their terms and in a way that makes them more interested in working with me. So even if you're already good at making a really high quality cinematic video, here's what you need to know in order to be able to do a good job selling it. Choose a niche. Now, I can't understate the importance of knowing who it is that you're serving, the target market that you're working with. So rather than doing videos just for anyone and everyone, which is how a lot of people start out, and if you're just starting out, you're doing that, that's totally fine. But you should be thinking about what niche you want to go into and dominate. Now, there are two categories of niche that you can dive into, and that is one, your style of work, and two, the type of client. So for example, on style of work, maybe the style that you want to create is cinematic story videos or cinematic documentary style videos or interviews mixed with B-roll. Whatever it is, the style of video that you want to create, you can niche down on a specific style of video and start selling that. The second way you can niche down is in the type of client that you're working with. And this is probably the more important one. So knowing who you're serving is really important. So rather than just saying, I make videos for businesses, you could say, I make cinematic documentary style videos for lawyers. When you do that and you do it right, that specific niche will be a lot more likely to want to work with you, and they'll be a lot more likely to want to pay you higher prices because you're specializing in a service that's made just for them. Now, once you've got a niche selected, the next step is just to figure out what it is they want. If you could boil marketing and sales down to one simple concept, it's basically this: find out what people want and then deliver it to them. So when it comes to selling video production services, a lot of filmmakers spend all their time talking about the lighting and the composition and the storytelling and all of those things. And those things are all really important, and especially as filmmakers, we really care about that. But when it comes to working with commercial videography clients and working with businesses, their number one priority or the result that they're looking for is not those things. In fact, they need you to speak to them on their terms. When it comes down to it, business is all about solving people's pain points. And how can you solve somebody's pain points unless you know what it is? So spend time talking to potential clients, talking to businesses in your niche, getting in their Facebook groups, in their subreddits, in their communities online, wherever it is that they are congregating. Get in there with them and start understanding them, knowing what it is that they want, what results they're looking for, what pain points they have, and figuring out how you can solve those as a business owner. And now that you have a niche and you know what it is they want or what problems they have that you can solve, give it to them. Make sure that your product or service, when you're selling your video production services, actually solves that pain point. It actually helps them reach their business goals as a business. Again, don't just communicate to your clients about how the lighting is going to be so amazing or how the storytelling will be so good. Those things are important, and you're going to pay attention to that when you're on set in order to deliver a really high quality product that they will enjoy in the end. But when you're communicating with a client, when you're selling to them and trying to get them to hire you, you need to learn how to speak in their terms. Talk to them about their revenue figures, their customer engagement, their brand loyalty, their brand engagement. Those are the kind of terms that your businesses are going to be thinking about and talking about and be what they care about. And if you can do a better job of communicating using those terms and talking to them about how they're going to get those results in their business, they will be a lot more likely to want to work with you in the end. Now, once you have a body of work that looks cinematic and stands out from the crowd, and you've learned how to sell it consistently in a way that makes your clients want to hire you, the last step is to develop a system for getting leads. When I was starting out as a filmmaker, I relied mostly on going to networking events and talking to people one-on-one in order to get clients. And certainly when you're starting out, that's a lot of what you're going to be doing, is just building relationships with people, growing your business, growing that client pool that you can pull from in order to get clients in your work. However, eventually that becomes a very slow and inconsistent process, and it doesn't allow you to build a good systemized business on top of something that's so inconsistent. So while I was doing that in my business for a long time and I was doing okay, it wasn't until I had a friend that taught me how to use the concept of a sales funnel that everything started to take off for me. Rather than having to go to networking events and meeting people one by one, I was able to have hundreds or even thousands of people going through my sales funnel all at once, and then only taking phone calls with people that were already interested in working with me, which saved me a lot of time and brought me a lot more clients on a consistent basis. So to do this, first you need to build a sales funnel. Now, sales funnel is just a series of web pages on your website that basically brings people through the process of getting to know you, what you do, what value you bring to the table, and then giving them an opportunity to buy what you have to offer. It's kind of like how when you go to a networking event and you meet somebody new, you first start with the small talk, then you start to get to know them a little bit better, then you talk a little bit more about what you do, and then ultimately you ask them to connect with you on Facebook or to send you an email or to get on a phone call so you can talk about further working together. But the problem with networking is that you have to do it one-to-one, so you're talking to one person at a time. With a sales funnel, you can drive hundreds or thousands of people through your sales funnel simultaneously. And so it's kind of like a salesperson working for you 24/7, going to 100 or 1,000 networking events every single day and pitching your services to potential clients. Now, once you have a sales funnel built, the next step is to drive traffic to it. So when we talk about traffic in internet terms, we're talking about people on the internet. You can do this a lot of different ways. You can do it by running ads, for example, on Facebook or on Google or on LinkedIn. You can do it by creating social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can actually even do it by going to a networking event. In fact, going to networking events and meeting people and pushing them to your website or your funnel is a way of driving traffic. It's kind of a slow way of doing it, but it is a way of doing it. However you decide to drive traffic, though, what you want to do is get as many people as possible through the sales funnel that are qualified and who are the right type of person for your business, so that ultimately some of them may want to take you up on the offer of working together. Then once you have a sales funnel and you're driving traffic through it and people are going through it, then all you have to do is start taking phone calls. So the people that are interested in working with you will book a call with you. All you have to do is at the appointed time, you pick up the phone and call them and then have a conversation with them about how you do what you do, what kind of value you provide, and then give them an offer to start working with you if they're interested. So rather than spending all of your time going to networking events and meeting people one-on-one and spending a lot of time doing that, instead you only have clients coming to you who are interested in working with you already. And you don't waste time talking to people who aren't interested, and you only spend your time talking on the phone to people that are already interested in talking to you. And so then you're able to spend a lot more time working on more important aspects of your business. So there you go. There's my tips for running your commercial videography business this year or getting clients as a commercial videographer. If you're a filmmaker who is interested in growing your business and this is something that you want to learn more about, I do have a free training down in the description below, which you can take a look at. It's 30 minutes long and I go in depth into everything that I just talked about in this video. In the video, I talk about my 3-step system for getting your first client if you don't have clients yet, or if you already have clients, how to double or triple your business in the next 12 months as a filmmaker. The training is totally free and there's absolutely no obligation, so hit the link down in the description below and I'll see you on the inside.